Now, CTV's Adrian Gobriel is standing by in Matan, Israel, with the latest on it. Adrian, thank you for joining us this morning, and you have a chance to talk to the family of the fifth victim that has been identified by Global Affairs.
Yeah, that's right. We're north of Tel Aviv. The family, we just left the family's home. We're actually the town that you just mentioned there, Roger. To give our viewers an idea, we're right near the West Bank. This is a quiet area. They're here being consoled by family and friends. Netta Epstein was 21 years old. He was engaged. He was with his fiancé down in a kibbutz right near the Gaza border, where they lived in an apartment when on Saturday morning, like so many others, Hamas militants stormed into their apartment, breaking down their door. And he, his mother describes his love for his girlfriend as so fierce, and he gave his life protecting her. As she has been told, and as she shared with us, multiple grenades were rolled into the shelter room where they were trying to seek shelter. And one was a dud, and when another one came in, he saw it coming, and it was rolling towards his fiancée, and he said grenade, and he jumped on top of it, and he saved her life, but lost his. Here's a little bit of what she had to say.
Netta was a child of the world. He had a huge heart. He loved the world. He loved his life, and he loved everybody around him. He loved us, his mother and father. He loved his sisters dearly. They loved him too, very much. They miss him a lot. So do we, of course. He loved the people on the kibbutz.
And Netta had Canadian citizenship through his grandmother, who is from Montreal, and through his mother. Just another tragic story here in this horrific act of violence.
And that is the horrific part of this. There are so many stories like that. But let's talk a little bit about what is going on the ground in Gaza. People are desperately trying to get out of there. Is that corridor opening up, or does it look like it's going to stay closed?
Upon the last that I checked in on the situation in the south in Gaza at the crossing into Egypt, it remains closed. We heard from Anthony Blinken yesterday. He was finishing up his tour of multiple Arab nations. He was standing on the runway in Cairo saying that passing would open, though the last that we saw earlier today, it remains closed. We know that there's aid on the Egyptian side that is waiting to get in, and there is a growing number of Palestinians as well as foreign nationals, including Canadians, who are trying to leave. That is the only way out of Gaza right now, though those gates remain closed, Roger.
And this starts becoming a very dangerous situation for people we've heard numbers, I think 500,000 people have fled to the south, so they're going to start piling up literally at that point. It must become a very dangerous situation for them.
Yeah, definitely. Keep in mind that electricity's been cut off, that water's been cut off. Now we've learned that water has been turned on in the south late yesterday, though there's no electricity to pump that water out. In the hospitals, it's a growing humanitarian crisis. Of course, when you mention 500,000 people moving south in an area that is already dealing with so many issues in the midst of a war, as the UN has called it, a humanitarian disaster.
CTV's Adrian Gobriel, thank you. The United States is significantly increasing its military presence in the Middle East amid the ongoing war. The Pentagon is sending the Dwight D. Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group to the eastern Mediterranean. It should arrive early next week. Now, the U.S. already has one aircraft carrier strike group in the area. A number of U.S. fighter jets also took off from England today for an undisclosed location in Southwest Asia. Meanwhile, an evacuation ship carrying U.S. citizens has departed from the Israeli port of Haifa. The U.S. announced on Sunday it would send ships to collect citizens and bring them to Cyprus. Commercial airlines have largely stopped flying into Tel Aviv because of the war.